One morning, in 2022, in Campbell River, Canada, Andrew Dawson was traveling with a friend to work when he saw a humanoid figure on top of a hill. It looked like a person, but much larger. Andrew managed to capture footage of what looked like a giant from the moving car, and from then on, became obsessed with the case. He wanted to know what exactly they had seen that day, and more importantly, if it was proof of the existence of supernatural creatures. Imagine being the one to find and have video proof of ET or mermaids. That would be revolutionary, and Andrew knew it. But unfortunately, instead of proof of this giant, Andrew vanished without a trace, and hasn't been seen since. What exactly happened to Andrew Dawson, and did he actually discover a giant on that mountain? Andrew Dawson was a 34-year-old who lived in British Columbia, Canada. He regularly made videos about hairstyle routines and his personal relationship with his wife and kids, with a slice of comedy in all of his uploads. He was very popular for his big sense of humor on the platform, until one day, that all changed. On April 9th, 2022, Andrew Dawson published a video recording of the mountain known as Whistler's Peak in Alberta, Canada. In the video, he showed what looked like a creature on top of the mountain, commenting that it was a person, while struggling to keep the camera steady as he rode in a moving vehicle. Viewers watching noticed that it was impossible to make out a person's shape from that distance, like it should be very difficult to see a silhouette of a person from that distance, not to talk of an actual person. So what was it? The video uploaded by Andrew drew a multitude of comments, with a significant number of viewers urging him to capture clearer and more stable footage. Many people were unsatisfied and wanted better evidence to support his claims. Andrew explained that the distance made filming very difficult, and zooming in only made it worse. He suggested crowdfunding a helicopter might be a solution for capturing better evidence. Andrew decided to further investigate the mountain to gather additional evidence for his viewers, but was surprisingly barred from accessing the road, which was weird because it was not too long ago that he had used that road. He later alleges that a CIA agent was present at the scene and denied him access, accusing him of trespassing in a public area. According to Andrew, the agent was supposedly conducting an environmental project in the area, but he was unable to verify this information due to his restricted access. The following morning, Andrew woke up very early and drove to the summit of the mountain with his dog Rex, hoping to capture footage of the alleged giant. His strategy was to attempt to reach the top before the authorities arrived, avoiding a potential repeat of the previous day's results. Here's where things get even weirder. On his way to the mountain, Andrew recorded something strange in the sky, but couldn't quite make anything of it. From the footage, viewers could see a glowing light in the sky. Some described the lights as a UFO, while others said it was a shooting star. On his way to the base of the mountain, Andrew spotted two helicopters hovering in the sky, equipped with unusual attachments that seemed to transport unidentified cargo away from the mountain's slope. Odd. However, Andrew wanted to get proof of the giant, so he kept driving. After spending some hours looking all over the mountain, he couldn't find the giant. Perhaps the shady helicopters had cleaned house. Later that evening, Andrew got stopped by another officer from a suspicious-looking vehicle parked along the road. Despite being in a public area, the officer mysteriously refused to explain the reason for the stop, instead ordering Andrew to return, just like he had recounted in a previous video. Maybe there was something back there he shouldn't see. Nonetheless, he made a U-turn and drove back home. Andrew didn't post videos on the platform for quite some time, which made some viewers worried. As soon as viewers were beginning to worry, he posted this. April 17th, 2022. Andrew glanced out the window of his apartment and was startled to see the same vehicle that had been parked earlier on the mountain, now stationed directly outside his residence. When Andrew tried to confront the officer stationed outside his house, they hastily drove away, leaving him with more questions than answers. At this point, Andrew was scared. It was abundantly clear he shouldn't have gone up that mountain. Whoever this stalker was had followed him from the mountain and located his apartment. That was not good, to say the least. Following a couple weeks, Andrew didn't post any videos on his account, leaving his viewers speculating about the reason behind his sudden absence. Some viewers believed he had been abducted, or worse, silenced by the government. This was not the case because 3 weeks later, he posted this rather strange video. Viewers could easily tell from the video something wasn't right. The footage lacked Andrew's usual energy. He seemed very nervous, backed up against the wall, hands in pocket, his eyes were shifty, very unusual lighting, and he kept glancing towards the left for some reason, almost like someone was right in the room with him. Some time had passed since the video about the giant was uploaded. The story was going viral, with millions of views on TikTok and Twitter. Many viewers asserted that Andrew was forced to admit the video about the giant was fake. Some even speculated that the government was behind what was actually happening on the mountain and had threatened Andrew to remain silent. Either way, the viewers got their answers almost 2 weeks later. May 17th, 2022. Andrew posted another video stating that this could possibly be his last upload, in which he asserted that his videos were truthful and unscripted. Initially, he had said everything was fake, but with this upload, it seemed like Andrew was retracting that statement. He seemed very uneasy about telling the truth. The very next day, Andrew uploaded another video with the caption, "Military." This time, viewers could see a fort or building at the top of the mountain. Strangely, this building wasn't there before. Andrew was suggesting that this structure was related to military involvement in the ongoing case. After that upload, on the 18th of May, 2022, Andrew Dawson was never heard from again. Are we all thinking the same thing? Andrew saw something he shouldn't have, spoke about it on his platform, and vanished without a trace. A few months after his disappearance, Andrew's wife starts posting videos on her TikTok account, saying she misses him, rest in peace. His Facebook profile, or page, became a remembering page, and till now, no one has come out to say the death was a stunt. Andrew was really dead. Was he silenced by the government? The answer to this, we'll never know. There's a possibility that what Andrew saw might not have been faked. You see, throughout history, there have been many references about giants existing in old legends and myths. For instance, the Nephilim were a race of giants born to fallen angels and humans, who were known for their strength and prowess. They're often linked to the Anakim and the famous giant Goliath, who stood around 9 feet 9 inches tall. In Norse mythology, the existence of giants, or Jotun, is well established. They were powerful beings with wisdom and beauty, yet also fierce warriors. This mythological account parallels the real-life claims of giants, such as in the Andrew Dawson case. Although more recently, the Sasquatch, also known as Bigfoot, has been reportedly cited by numerous individuals. The creature is often described as a large, hairy, ape-like being that inhabits forests and wilderness areas. I only wish we could get more zoomed-out, blurry videos of these sightings. Regardless, many skeptics remain unconvinced about the existence of these giants, which brings us back to Andrew Dawson. Let's break down the timeline of Andrew's events frame by frame to find out what really happened here. Well, it all starts off with this video that now sits at 22.7 million views as of this account. Andrew claims he's seen a person on the mountain, but even his friend driving the car thinks it's not possible. With a little bit of investigation and the help of Google Maps, the location of the giant Andrew captured on film was traced to Canoe Mountain. It wasn't Whistler's Peak, and what Andrew claimed was a giant person was actually just a cell phone tower. On the 13th of April, Andrew posted this video, claiming he had spoken to some of the locals around the area. According to them, the creature appears randomly, but yet again, this would be false. The giant person, or cell phone tower in this case, could not be seen due to the fact that Andrew was recording from the opposite side of the mountain ridge. Later that day, Andrew claimed he was stopped by some agent and couldn't get more footage, so he decides to leave early the next day, and then he sees this. And yes, thousands of comments assumed this was another sighting of a UFO, or maybe the giant person was returning home. But these were just condensation trails, or lines of condensed water vapor left behind by aircrafts at high altitudes. But why is it bright orange, I hear you ask? Typically contrails appear brightish orange during sunrise and sunset. And when the air is filled with high levels of dust or smoke, they become intensely colored. So, no UFOs, no shooting stars, and no flying giants. Hours after recording contrails, Andrew saw 2 helicopters carrying something from the side of the mountain. He had assumed they were removing the giant person, but this is called helicopter logging, or heli-logging for short. Like how it sounds, helicopters swoop in and remove logs from forests by lifting them on cables, and they do this because the roads are inaccessible with regular vehicles. On the 17th of April, Andrew uploaded this video titled, "Being Stalked." Let's rewind a little bit. 3 days ago, he had actually seen the same car parked along the side of the road. The officer asked him to turn back, which he did. One question: have you ever met an officer that sounded like this?
Just turn around.
Really?
Yeah, man, just turn around, please.
This wasn't the CIA, or any other intelligence agency for that matter. This person sounded anxious and unsure. The same car was now parked outside his apartment. Rather boldly, Andrew stepped outside to confront this officer, but the car immediately zoomed off. Pause. What do you see? For starters, this does not look like a CIA officer's car. The lit-up plate number and the backlights of the car are dead giveaways, and if that wasn't convincing, well, listen to that engine. Intelligence officers' cars do not sound like that. Like the flurry of Andrew's comments pointed out, boldly confronting this person wasn't a good idea. If such an agent did exist, walking up to them across your apartment at night is probably not a good thing. After that video, there was complete radio silence from Andrew until a few weeks later, on the 7th of May. He uploaded this video titled "Official Update." Watch closely. Anything out of the ordinary? Well, yeah. This isn't the Andrew we're familiar with. He looks reserved and anxious and keeps staring to his left. Or maybe that's what he wants you to think. On the surface of this video, it seems like Andrew is being monitored or forced by someone to admit all his videos were fake. But what if this was all a ruse to make it seem more believable? Here's what I think. 1, he's overacting. If there was someone in the room with him, he wouldn't keep staring at them like he was reading instructions. It's almost calling attention towards this possibility that he's being forced to say this. 2, the thumbnail of that video is awfully suspicious. What are the chances TikTok auto-selects that particular frame of the video with him looking towards the left of the room? Hard sell for me. 3, on the slim chance that Andrew was captured and being forced to say all this, why would the captor publish such evidence? That would only make his claims more credible. Did the person forcing him to admit it was fake also select the thumbnail for the video? Did the person watch the video at all to see that Andrew was taking many glances in his direction? Also, why not delete all the videos on his account? Wouldn't that be a more effective strategy? Things don't quite add up for the Andrew Dawson case. 10 days later, Andrew uploaded another video titled, "Too much has happened and I can't be forced to be silent." Let's address what he says. He indicates that his life may be in danger, and he might not upload after this video. He also mentions that his videos were not faked. 2 questions come to mind after watching the video. Could he have predicted the response he was going to receive by uploading the previous video? Telling his audience that he was in danger and that his videos were real would also make them more believable after being, quote, forced to lie. And most importantly, would revealing the truth be worth it? Because if in fact there was a giant person out there, and the government was trying to prevent such news from reaching the public at all costs, wouldn't you comply? The following day, Andrew posted his final video, with the caption, "Military." We can clearly see a fort-like structure in the video, which Andrew believes could be the military's involvement. Unsurprisingly, this wasn't the military, but Jasper's Sky Tram, located in Alberta. The Canoe Mountain, where the cell phone tower was initially recorded, would be approximately 210 miles from the Jasper Sky Tram, or 4 to 5 hours. Andrew was writing on the fact that the mountains looked very similar. Between May 3rd and 13th, when Andrew was on a 10-day hiatus from posting videos on his channel, Tony Merkel, the host of the Confessionals podcast, reached out to Andrew on Instagram to invite him as a guest on his show to discuss his popular giant person video. However, Andrew did not respond to Tony's invitation. A month later, on June 23rd, Andrew finally responded. Remember when Andrew said he wouldn't be forced to be silent? I guess he had changed his mind. In later messages with Tony, Andrew said he couldn't say anything about it and, quote, "It didn't happen." The two had no further contact, and Tony never interviewed him. In your typical mystery, UFO, or abduction conspiracy, there's usually a handful of evidence as proof of the incident, but not in this case. The only person with Andrew in all of his mystery videos was his unnamed friend driving in the very first video, and after that, we never heard from or saw him again. Another staple in typical sightings of such incidents would be the presence of an official investigation, which was notably absent in this case. With a lack of such investigation, the doubters only increased. Early on, the large majority of his viewers fell into two groups. The first group of people thought Dawson was seeking attention and fame on social media, while the second believed it was simply a case of Parkinson's disease. Another small faction also believed that Andrew Dawson's death was fabricated as a marketing ploy to promote a show called Cloverfield, which had a similar plot to Andrew Dawson's claims. So was Andrew making up this giant hoax? Short answer, yes. All evidence from his videos seems to point to the fact that everything was faked for the purpose of entertainment. And then you might ask, motive? Well, his videos were getting serious traction. I imagine every creator on any platform loves views, and so Andrew had to keep the story going. Sadly, Andrew Ryan Watchhorn Dawson passed away on the 1st of July, 2022. His obituary was also posted a few hours after his death on a local news website. Now this raised a few brows, because anybody could post on that website without a death certificate or any other verification. Oddly, I couldn't find his cause of death, or any other records for that matter. No employment history records, criminal records, birth certificates, education records, property records, or any other public records. This has led to some speculation that Andrew Dawson simply does not exist. Even his sister, an active social media user, made no posts about his passing. Honestly, I wish I was wrong. I wish there was somewhere in this analysis that showed that Andrew recorded the giants, like collaborations from other people and not just him alone. Even the driver that was with him when he shot the video never came out to support or criticize the theory, and there are no records to show that Andrew Dawson even existed. Meanwhile, some viewers found his wife's account and left a plethora of harassing comments. What's also peculiar about this situation is that when a viewer requested Dawson's wife to wear a purple article of clothing as a signal that she was indeed in distress, she complied. Dawson's wife was hesitant at first, but eventually gave in and responded to the comments. According to her, Andrew had passed from natural causes. She said he had suffered from depression for a very long time, and he was gone. Even to this day, many people still constantly nag his family with comments like, "What happened? Is he gone?" Now this, I do not condone. I don't know what events transpired before Dawson's death. Unfortunately, there are many unanswered questions, and tragically, Andrew is no longer here. Kindly respect the family and let them be. If indeed Andrew's videos really were faked for entertainment, then he succeeded at making some really fantastic content. And if they weren't, I can only hope the truth eventually comes to light, and I hope he really does. Rest in peace.